But now let's move a little bit from basketball, Rob, to college football, particularly the Big Ten. Now, we know that the Big Ten has canceled its fall sports seasons, mainly or most significantly to as far as fans are concerned, the football season. And but now President Trump is getting involved, and he sent out a tweet this morning that said, had a very productive conversation with Kevin Warren, commissioner of the Big Ten Conference, about immediately starting up Big Ten football. Would be good, great in parentheses, for everyone, players, fans, country, on the 1 yard line. So he's implying that it's close. The Big Ten put out a statement following, just saying that they spoke with the White House, and they're just
not
trying
at the 1 yard line.
Yeah. They it didn't sound like they were at the 1 yard. At best, it sounded like they're back on the field, but not near the 1 yard line. So they said they're exhausting every resource to help get the athletes playing as soon as it's safe and healthy. So, go ahead, Rob. I'll let you tackle this first.
This is, I don't want to get into political talk, but it's politics and the campaign and the elections coming, Chris, sooner than later. That's all this is, and I feel bad that with all the stuff going on, that's what the president is involved in. Seriously, do you see what's happening in this country?
There's so much going on.
Seriously, is that what we're doing? Really? Grandstanding to try to get people who are college football fans to be like, oh, the president's trying to get that your phone call to Kevin Warren in the Big Ten.
It's definitely
something's wrong.
Yeah, I agree that I think it's a political move on his part.
It's political.
Like you said, there's so many things that should be placed above this. The nation is just at. It's in
shootings
dire
and killings
straits.
every day,
it's
Chris.
Dire straits, not to mention COVID.
Yes.
Let the experts handle this. Look, I get it politically because this is playing not only to his base, but this is playing to people probably outside of his base as well. And I think here's where I stand on this, Rob. And I said it when they canceled the season. Because, again, the sad thing is that everything has been so politicized nowadays that the information you're getting is largely being doled out based on, the politics. And so it is hard to know exactly what is going on. I'm trying to believe the medical experts, and what they were saying when the Big Ten season was canceled was that this could be tied to myocarditis. Rob, did I say that right, Rob G?
Myocarditis, correct.
Myocarditis, which is a heart issue. And long term, they were finding that, people that didn't show any symptoms, people that were young, athletic, that had COVID and didn't think anything of it, later on, it could lead to myocarditis, a heart inflammation of the heart. And so that was the thing that made me say, okay, with all these question marks, what are you doing playing? But what makes it confusing is that, first of all, half of the nation is playing football. And then even in some of the Big Ten states, they're playing high school football. Now, you and I, we said we get it with the pros. They're paid. If they want to play, they're making money. Right.
They're adults. It's like totally different.
But in Ohio, the high school kids are playing. In Iowa, they're playing. In Indiana, they're playing. Nebraska. So it is just confusing because you say, if St. John's Episcopal hot prep school can play, why can't the University of Nebraska or whatever? So it's unfortunate that we don't have uniformity on this, at least on the facts.
But that's what this country's made up of. Despite it being a union of 50 states or so, Chris, each state has different rules. How old you can to have a drink, right? How old if you're in Kentucky, you can drive when you're 14. In New York, you got to be 18. Do you know what I'm saying? So there are always have been differences in states and the way people do things. So you can't use that as because they're playing, that makes it right or
But
because they're
in
not.
the same state, though.
No, I get
You
it.
know?
But the difference is in this case, and is that the talk is the universities won't be able to get these kids to sign waivers and use
Well,
them
NCAA
legally.
won't let them.
Right. And I think, Chris, that's where that comes in when you're a university president. And you're the one watching over those endowments and all that money and those, right? All that money.
Well, it's interesting that I hear you. And we've talked about it, Rob. We've said it comes down to money.
It's all about money. Let's just be honest. And you know what? It's money. It's money on both sides, Chris. Money, the TV money that's sitting there, right? That they want, these schools want. That's why they want to play. And then the school holding on to its money because they don't want to be sued down the road and have a class action suit, right? And then they got to dole out a ton of money. Go look at Penn State with Joe Paterno. You know how much money they gave out over the Joe Paterno scandal with the kids?
Oh, yeah. Tons.
A ton.
See, I'm surprised that the schools and the conferences that are playing are willing to go ahead and take that chance. Because you're right. It could be an astronomical amount of money.
Could be.
And they're willing, the SEC and some of these other conferences are willing to take that risk. And what we said, was it Clemson? Who was it that had 16 players? Clemson? Was it Clemson?
Auburn, Chris. Auburn.
Yeah.
Auburn has 16 players that didn't practice. They were supposed to resume practicing today, Chris. But over the weekend, there were 16 players who either had it or were at high risk or showing great symptoms, and hadn't got the official test back.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the thing, Rob, and you're obviously right. I mean, we've had, different states have different rules. I think part of it is that rarely do those different laws impact health and safety. Rarely. Sometimes, but rarely, health and safety. And this is such a national pandemic. I mean, it's a global pandemic. And you just wish that you had a common trust. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
about
but you can't
what
get
in the world is going on.
I agree with you, but people don't want to. There's always, Chris, conspiracies. How many times I got to hear Bill Gates' name, and they just want to vaccinate everybody and make money off of them, and that's why they're doing it. Chris, there were diseases, and I'm not gonna get on my soapbox. But when I was growing up and you were growing up, we got vaccinated, right?
Right.
Because kids used to get smallpox, polio, the mumps. Do you remember all these diseases? Chickenpox, measles. Right. All of these things. Those things almost went away, Chris, and now they're back. You know why? People don't want their kids to get vaccinated. So I'm not sitting here. I'm trying to have a debate about vaccination, and you do what you want to do with your kids. I'm just telling you that there's all these conspiracies, and that's why people can't believe medicine and science, Chris, because they think there's an agenda behind it.
Right. And also there is an agenda behind a lot of the cable news shows. Let's just keep it real.
No, we do know that.
You know exactly whatever network
Which
you
side,
tune into.
right,
Yeah, you know exactly the spin you're going to get, what news they're going to share. And Rob, I know this interests you. You've seen, you're with your master's in journalism from Columbia and all that. You've seen journalists leave. Like somebody left the New York Times. Somebody left was the MSNBC because they said
Shepard Smith was the main anchor at Fox News. Fox. He left.
Yeah. So you've seen people from every, wing of politics say, I'm out of here because it's just not the real news. We're just promoting an agenda. And so you got to be careful with what you're taking in. I've been watching more of the network news during this pandemic, right? Because they're kind of more straight down the line. You know what I mean? And you can just kind of get the facts from them. But, we'll see, man. The Big Ten, like you said, they certainly aren't on the 1 yard line, at least according to their statement they put out. But do you sense that they're starting to – they seem like they're at least waffling or softening a bit.
Nah,
because
I
if
think,
you're not, why even? You just like, look, we're not playing.
because
We put it out.
They did put out
medical experts.
They did put out a statement that long ago, Chris, a couple days ago, whatever, basically saying that they weren't that nothing was reopened to it, even though people were trying to come up with plans and ideas. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they didn't say like, people are pitching it, and then it's like every day it's like, oh yeah, well they could start in October. Then somebody reports, oh they could start in November. Oh they could start in December. Do I think that it's next year, Chris? I believe it's next year. You wouldn't have gone through all that. And if you do it, you come off looking really bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't believe that they're going to change their mind. Not this year.
All right, we threw it out to you. Do you think the president is politicizing college football for the election coming up? He obviously politicized the NFL. And is this another example of that? And also just where you at on the situation now with the Big Ten. 877-99 on Fox. Your turn to weigh in.
All right, Harry in Columbus, Ohio. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Freaking caller.
What's up, Harry?
Not much. So yeah, he's doing it. That's what he's doing. Because like I was saying, I know brothers who I would never vote for Donald Trump. I'd never vote for that man. And then now it's like I seen it today because I'm in Ohio. Big Ohio State. Oh, if he gets Ohio State football back, he got my vote.
You were hearing that, really?
Oh God.
Yeah, and I have thousands of friends on
his
Facebook.
popularity is rising among blacks.
Yeah, and this is the thing too. You have to remember, the biggest school in the Big Ten is Ohio State. That's down fact.
Right.
And if you think about politics, the state of Ohio is always a sweet state. So normally, if you get Ohio, you're getting Michigan, you get Wisconsin, you're getting Indiana, and you're getting Pennsylvania. If he can get Ohio State football back, then you might as well just wrap the election up because there's no way he's losing.
What is the sentiment down there in Ohio? Like, as far as the team forget Trump, but the team not playing, that had to crush that city. They don't have a pro football team or any pro sport, baseball, football, or basketball. That must have crushed the city.
Oh, for sure. The only thing that's keeping you've had it to where people are buying, because our high school football is they're doing limited, but they're having it to where you can buy, a season package. You can watch whatever hype you have. Because I bought it myself to where we're buying packages to watch high school football, and I don't have any kids that play high school football.
Wow.
So,
all right, good call.
All right. Thanks, Harry.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Appreciate that, Josh in Kentucky. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Josh?
Hey, how are you guys?
Doing
What's
good,
up, man?
I don't think that he's trying to get college football back to in the Big Ten to gain votes. I think he legitimately feels like they can play, and it will be a safe environment. Likely they're not going to have fans. I think I'm in Kentucky. Louisville's going to have 18,000 fans at their games, at the home games. I believe that the ACC and the SEC, I think that they can play. I think they feel like they can play, and keep things contained. These athletes, they're going to be kept to themselves. They're going to be.
Josh, every other sport in the NCAA was canceled for the fall, including Division II and Division III football.
And I didn't agree with that either, to be honest with you.
But it's been done.
All right.
Did we lose you?
Oh, there you
No, I'm here. I didn't hear what you said.
No, I'm just saying. I think that if it wasn't for the money, they would be with everybody else. Do you disagree with that?
No, I do. I don't think that. No, I agree with that. I think that the money is obviously a big deal. It's going to be a big deal to all the teams and teams that aren't able to play. It was a big deal to the colleges that couldn't play in the NCAA tournament. However, nobody is talking about the fact that the CDC just changed their site to that they had misinformation on the deaths. They have been now lowered to under 10,000. That's a
under
pretty
10,000.
Under 10,000. They just changed it this past week.
Under 10,000 from where?
Nationally.
Wait.
The deaths. Under 10,000
Look
nationally.
that up, right? So from 180,000 to under 10,000?
6,000% of those deaths were incorrect.
Yeah, okay.
We got to hear this. All right, good call.
All right.
You got some info on that? Rob G, Iowa Sam?
I do. So really what he's talking about there is he's saying 6,000. The CDC added a little bit of an addendum. They're saying 6,000 deaths just from COVID alone. But a lot of the deaths also had contributing factors. Like someone had, they ended up developing pneumonia. Yeah, so they still died from COVID complications, but something else killed them. So it's a little misleading to say it's just 6,000.
Exactly.
It's not like that at all. Actually.
I know exactly. Like you, that triggered something else, Chris. The COVID, right? Triggered something that caused you to die.
Or like they
even
were
though you
saying
didn't die
people were
directly,
sick.
right? Exactly.
Like my father-in-law, he was 86.
Like
he
guys,
had kidney issues.
Yeah, if you had
He had
COPD,
other complications going on, but
if you had COPD and you had got COVID, and then the COPD may have been exacerbated by the COVID, but ultimately the COVID helped kill you.
Right,
exactly.
right.
All right, Tori in Georgia, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
Hey, Chris and Rob, love your show, love everything y'all do, man. Y'all my brothers, y'all my heart, my soul. I love y'all, bro. Keep up the good work that y'all doing.
Man, appreciate it.
You ain't got to appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all. But the bottom line is, tomorrow, listen to Clay Travis. He's going to try to twist and turn everything. I know he's our colleague. You can't say nothing bad about it. I won't say nothing bad about it.
We already know.
We know Clay.
I know how he leans. I know how he leans. And listen to his podcast tomorrow. I guarantee you, he's going to try to bring that smoke, but y'all bring it to him and let him know what it is. I'm out.
All right.
He should have been on Trash Talking.
That's
Tuesday.
right. Mark in Sacramento, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio, the voice of God and the voice of reason. What's happening, Mark?
What's going on, gentlemen?
I just gave you a new nickname. I
like it. Let me tell you, man, I'm laughing because there's nothing this man does that's not political. Hell yes, he's doing it. I just had to laugh. Let's see, Bubba Wallace, LeBron James, the NFL, the NBA. Yes. What hasn't he politicized? Come on, man.
You're right.
Of course he's doing it. And here's the other thing I wanted to say. For those of you who say you don't want politics in your sports, well, I got a different spin on it. I'm tired of politicians getting in and talking crap. They get into sports. They
do it all the time.
All the time, yes. So I don't want to hear that crap about, I don't want my athletes talking about politics.
Yep.
How about we have politicians stop getting in the sports? That's the one that's getting on my nerve, including the head politician in the country. You guys have a good one.
Look at Mark, fired up.
Nah,
wow.
Mark, he's right, though, because the Laura Ingrams of the world, they always say, or fans, when they don't want to hear what somebody's saying, Chris, then they don't want you to be involved.
You know what? And I get it.
That's it.
I was on TV this weekend, Fox and Friends, and I was asked, has sports, is this it now? Is it like going to be politicized from here out? I said, hopefully not. I said, the fact that basketball and football are dominated by African Americans, as long as we have issues in this country where we're not getting justice and equality, it's going to be politicized. Now, once we get our full justice, hey, they got me on. They loved it. I'm going to give them the truth. But I said, as long as there are issues that we need dealt with as far as equality and justice, it's going to be politicized because it's mostly black players. And so you got to deal with it. So give us the full justice and equality, and we good. It don't have to be politicized anymore. Because it won't need to be.
Was the black host on the set with you?
Three white hosts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Three white hosts. In fact, you know who I was talking with? Will Kane.
Are you serious?
Will Kane, yeah. We had a good conversation. So,
Very nice.
All right.